This new Trans-Pacific Partnership is a huge step towards one world. And, we've studied this in the Bible for a long time, that man would develop a one world government. Do you feel we're getting closer to that?
Well, we're moving toward this one world economic system with this treaty and others. Some people, they expect the Antichrist to get on the television and say, we're merging all the economies of the world, we're going to a single currency. They're kind of waiting for something like that to happen. Meanwhile, they're ignoring all the things that are happening, all the steps that are leading us toward that. And so you've got this new Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's also been called Obama Trade, because what Barack Obama has done, he's gone into this international treaty, dumped all kinds of things in this treaty that he couldn't get through Congress any other way. And then what infuriates me is it was the Republican leadership that worked so hard to give him the fast-track negotiating authority to get this pushed through. But what this treaty is going to do, it's been called NAFTA on steroids. We already all remember NAFTA and how it's caused businesses to leave this country, millions of good jobs lost. Well, this Trans-Pacific Partnership is going to unite 40% of the global economy, 40% of the GDP of the entire world into this one system. And it's just not economics. It's going to cover a whole host of different things. And we're going to be locked into this. And so then if we wanted to, for example, Congress wanted to change something, or say a state government or Congress, they wanted to pass a Buy American law. For example, they wanted to pass a law that says the U.S. military has to buy American for things for our national security. Well, they're not going to be allowed to do that anymore. This new treaty is going to supersede our laws, is going to tie the hands of Congress from doing anything. So Barack Obama's getting all this stuff that he wants in there, and it's basically going to be locking in the Obama agenda permanently, even after he's all gone and left office and everything. But and there's another treaty coming up with Europe, these interlocking global economic treaties, they're merging us into a single economic system. They're merging us into a single labor market. And that's why that's so bad for ordinary Americans, because now you're competing for a job with people on the other side of the world where it's legal to pay them slave labor wages. And so we've seen this max exodus of, we've lost more than 56,000 manufacturing facilities since 2001. We've lost millions of good-paying jobs. And then, the taxes that would have been paid by those workers and those businesses are being lost. And so we've got to borrow. And since the day Barack Obama stepped in the White House, we've been stealing $100 million an hour from our children, our grandchildren, future generations of Americans. Every single hour of every single day, more than $100 million from those future generations of Americans since the day that Barack Obama stepped into the White House. So we're living on debt, we're financing ourselves with debt. Meanwhile, even though we're stealing all this money, spending all this money we don't have, poverty is exploding, Jim. Over the past 6 years, since 2009, the number of homeless children in the United States has increased by 60%. And according, I came across this statistic the other day. It absolutely blew me away. According to Poverty USA, 1.6 million children in America either slept in a homeless shelter or at some other type of emergency housing just last year. 1.6 million. We're supposedly the greatest country in the world, the wealthiest nation in the world, but this is happening. We've got 47 million Americans that are in poverty right now, according to the U.S. government. It's exploding out of control. In fact, back in 2007, right before the last recession hit, about 1 out of every 8 children in America were on food stamps. Now it's 1 out of every 5. They tell us things are getting better. Things are not getting better. Poverty is exploding, especially at the lowest end of the spectrum.